In this video, you're going to learn everything you need to know about atoms and the periodic table for Unit 1 Chemistry. Okay, so what are atoms? All substances are made up of atoms. Substances made from only one sort of atom are called elements. There are about 100 different elements, which are all shown in the periodic table. The atoms can be listed as symbols. For example, the symbol for oxygen is O, and sodium is represented by the symbol Na. These symbols are used in the periodic table. The periodic table is laid out so that atoms with similar properties are in vertical columns. These columns are called groups. All elements in a group will have similar properties, due to them all having the same number of electrons in their outer shell. To understand what shells are, let's look at the structure of an atom. Atoms have a small central nucleus, which is made up of protons and neutrons, and around which there are electrons. Electrons are negatively charged. They are very small, but move around over a lot of space as they occupy shells around the nucleus. The protons found in the nucleus are positively charged. Neutrons have no charge, they are neutral. Therefore, the overall charge of the nucleus is positive. In an atom, the number of electrons surrounding the nucleus is equal to the number of protons in the nucleus. This means that atoms have no overall charge. All atoms of a particular element have the same number of protons, where atoms of different elements have the different number of protons. Using oxygen and sodium again, for example, I can tell that an unlabelled element is oxygen if it contains 8 protons. Similarly, if there are 11 protons, I know that the atom is sodium. On the periodic table, the number of protons is displayed here as the atomic number. This is also the number of electrons because, as we learnt before, an atom contains the same number of protons and electrons. The number at the top is called the mass number. It's calculated by adding the number of protons and the number of neutrons together. You may have seen atoms drawn like this before. The rings shown here are the shells we talked about earlier. Electrons always occupy shells. The lowest shells are always filled first by the electrons. These are the ones closest to the nucleus. Only a certain number of electrons are allowed in each shell. In the first shell, there could be a maximum of 2 electrons. In the second shell, there could be up to 8 electrons, and the same with the third. As we know, sodium has 11 protons, so it's drawn like so. The numbers in the right corner indicate the number of electrons in each shell. You'll need to be able to draw the electronic structure of the first 20 elements of the periodic table for your exam. So let's finish by practicing drawing one of these together. In January 2012, this question was asked about carbon. Diamond is a form of carbon. A carbon atom has 6 electrons. Draw the electronic structure of a carbon atom. Now this particular question informs you that there are 6 electrons in a carbon atom. But if it didn't, always remember the atomic number on the periodic table shows the number of electrons in each atom. The second thing to remember is the number of electrons that can fit into each shell. 2 of carbon's 6 electrons will fit into the shell closest to the nucleus, and the remaining 4 will therefore go into the second shell. So your answer should look something like this. Why don't you try and answer some of these questions? If you're struggling, simply re-watch a section of the video that you found the hardest to understand. You'll need your periodic table. Good luck! Pause the screen now.